What do you make about some of the to and fro's we're seeing when it comes to the yuan trade? We know that the PBOC essentially doesn't want it too weak, but doesn't want it too strong either. So is there a reversal of this rally that we're seeing?
No, I don't think we are seeing a reversal of the rally. If anything, I think we're just in for a period of consolidation, which is healthy because we've had a very strong run in the yuan since about June. So a period of consolidation, I think, especially heading into the major event risks that are coming up with the U.S. election and also very important political meetings in China as well, I think is appropriate. I don't view the PBOC move on the weekend as necessarily wanting to reverse the appreciation of the yuan. I think they're just taking advantage of the fact that there's no depreciation concerns, and then they're just removing an impediment and just a way of encouraging onshore participants to be able to hedge currency risk.
So if you look at economic performance divergence, there's still a case for the yuan to outperform.
Definitely. I think both from fundamentals and also from a pure flows perspective, I think the outlook for the yuan is still very positive. I mean, from a growth recovery perspective, they are leading the charge in Asia. Growth momentum continues to accelerate. And China will be one of the very few economies in the world to post positive growth this year. And with index inclusion in the week B from next year, that's going to guarantee that we're going to see very strong, robust foreign inflows into the onshore Chinese bond market. And again, that is very supportive of the yuan.
Khoon, let's start into Singapore because we have a few central bank decisions this week, including from the Monetary Authority of Singapore. And we just heard from the managing director, Ravin Menon, talking about the state of the Singaporean economy before, of course, we get their GDP numbers as well. Take a listen first.
The scarring in the economy is going to be quite real. While I emphasized the digitalization and the digital skills that people need to pick up, it's also clear that many jobs and many activities which played an intermediary role as a middleman are going to find it very hard to come out of this long after the pandemic is over.
Not much is expected out of the Monetary Authority's decision this week, but really, how much can they actually do given that Singapore faces some structural issues as well?
That's right. And I think, the MAS managing director paints the reality that what the economy is now dealing with is structural factors, not necessarily cyclical ones. And that's not really something that monetary policy is suited to do, which is why I'm not expecting MAS to do anything tomorrow. I think they've done all they can in terms of the double easing they did back on the 30th of March, and also some of the regulatory forbearance, such as debt moratoriums, for example. That's been very, very helpful. But in terms of addressing the structural issues, that's really something that needs to be left up to fiscal policy to do all the heavy lifting on that.
Let's turn to another monetary policy decision this week. We do have the Bank of Korea coming out at a time when the Korean won is seeing incredible strength against the US dollar, an 18-month high. What are we expecting on that front when already we have seen them also do a lot so far?
I'm not expecting the BOK to adjust their policy stance at all. I mean, interest rates in Korea at 0.5% is already effectively at the lower bound. And the Korean economy, I think, is starting to recover. The exports have turned positive. And I think with the recovery in China, that will help to lift the Korean economy as well. I think for now, the BOK is just on a long period of being on hold, and they will focus on financial stability risk as well, because that's something else that they are mindful of. The long period of low interest rates could start to see too much risk being taken, leading to financial stability risk. And one of the things they worry about is house prices, which has been rising. So, that's going to keep the Bank of Korea on the sidelines for some time.
And Khoon, it's so great to have you on because, of course, we can do the rounds with all of these Asian economies. So lastly, let me just turn to Indonesia and what you're expecting for the rupiah, because we also had that omnibus bill on job creation being passed.
Look, the omnibus bill passage is positive. Reforms in Indonesia have long been talked about, and it's good to finally see some movement on that front. Of course, implementation is the key now. And while it's positive for the rupiah, I think investors will, want to see a further follow-up in terms of commitment from the Indonesian government. I'm still somewhat positive on the rupiah going forward. It's just that we just need to navigate this current period of volatility and uncertainty before we see a return of foreign investor inflows into Indonesia.